So with our handsome Mr. Z, he's doing a great job. He already went right to his little bed. Nice job, sir. We were going to touch base on a little bit of some puppy push-ups and a few other little skills as well. So right now I'm just going to feed him for doing a nice job placing on his little bed. He went and did it all by his lonesome. So he's just like, let's just go settle on our mat. So when working with any skills, I would recommend in the beginning, you are going to be, again, we've mentioned how we start with luring typically. Oh, wild man. And then we might also do what's called shaping and capturing of behavior. So in the beginning, if you're finding that you need to lure the puppy to figure out a certain skill, that's okay, but we want to fade out that lure as quickly as we can. So if, let's say we were going to work on a stand position from a down, I might lure him in the beginning with the food. So for example, it might be in your hand. You lure him forward and you're looking for him to stand up. And when he does so, you'd feed him that snack. If, for example, right now, he's thinking it might be a great idea to hold on to this lovely settle position, I might go and get his attention because we didn't actually apply my stay. I just want him to get up and have it be fun. I originally did plop down the mat because for some of them, doing puppy push-ups on the rubber flooring can be a little bit weird. So some of them almost prefer the softness of the target. I would recommend if your pup is struggling with relaxation on a dog bed, target, or mat, is to keep those positions or those spots for relaxation. So if, let's say, he has struggles with certain hardwood or floors that are slippery, maybe do some of your puppy push-ups or some of these other skills on a carpeted zone if that's easier for him. A lot of puppies and adult dogs struggle with surfaces that are slick. So it's almost like them learning how to do certain behaviors on a slippery surface, almost like going and working on learning how to walk or do other skill sets on an ice skating rink. So it's a little bit tricky and it can also cause injuries potentially. So let's say, for example, if he wants to use the target mat, he's like, did you throw it? We can get a little sit and then yes to feed. So puppy push-ups are going to consist of working sits and stands and downs. If, for example, he goes into a down position, but I technically, yes, wanted him to stand, view it almost stand or up, whichever you want to call it, as an invisible string coming from your puppy's nose forward, depending on the height of the puppy, to like your knee or your shin area. And for some dogs, almost your thigh if they're that tall. So we might get our sit and then feed for that. Normally, you'd want to go ahead and go yes and mark the behavior or skill set that you're getting. So that way your puppy knows exactly why they're being reinforced. So again, we might go into our stand, and he's like, my brain melted slightly. He tends to like the downs because I think he's done a lot more sits and downs, which is no big deal. If, again, he prefers downs, not the end of the world, but I want him to start practicing some stands as well. Yes. So if stands are not as well rehearsed and therefore he doesn't know them as well, he may need the help with the lure in the beginning. So you'll notice that for that one, I had the food in my hand and then created the behavior. So you can, again, with an empty hand, go into a sit and then feed for that. If you're looking again for the stand, you may in the beginning lure him to a stand position or an up. So I have the food in my hand, and what I'm hoping for him to do is eventually target the hand and later eventually just hear the word stand and hopefully go up into the position or offer that cue. So again, we might go into a sit and then yes to feed. Nice. He's like, I know you guys always love these targets. That is very pretty. So if, let's say, the next one would have been maybe a down, yes. Remember too, if he sometimes just falls into the right position, you can again still feed him for his good efforts. I want a puppy that's trying to almost figure out the game and having a good time versus a puppy that's nervous about making a mistake and then getting scolded or reprimanded. So remember, I know we've mentioned this in the past, is think about your puppy or even your adult dog as a furry little exchange student that has no idea what's expected of them verbally, physically, or culturally. And then that way you can either be connecting the dots with them by showing them what to do and then reinforcing the skills you'd like to have happen again. So if, let's say, again, he's been doing a really nice job with some of these puppy push-ups, we might go ahead and get him up and wiggling, just get him a little break with a find it. I'm going to go into working a little bit with his bed position and see if we can work with stays with adding some distractions from me moving or adding distance. So I might go again, ready, Zeus? Bed. Nice. So first setup would be for targeting the mat, yes. If, let's say, we think he's going to be more successful in a down sort of stay, we could again lower down and then go right into feeding again, yes, for that lovely down position. So now I'm gonna go ahead and tell him to stay. So if you have different hand signals, do let me know because I wanna mess him up. But remember, stay could be like open palm, stop sign, don't move. We will work again with more of the weights, and weights are gonna be hold back, sir or madam, until I call you to me. So again, with the stay, we're gonna tell him stay, and he would then hold his down stay until I go and retrieve him. So again, I am creating value for him while he's stuck in stay. That's when he gets his paycheck. So if let's say he breaks, I'm gonna reset him up on his bed. And let's say we'll maybe set him up so again, he can be seen a little bit better versus his little rump. So ready? I'm just gonna reset him up. Sit. Yes, feed for that. Ready? Down. Beautiful, yes. And now I'm gonna tell him to stay. So if in the beginning, adding movement, adding distractions, adding distance is way too hard for your pup, my little one's making noises, then you may find what can be helpful is work on time frame first. So again, down, yes. So now I'm gonna not add tons of distractions from my end. So I'm gonna tell him to stay. And if let's say stays are a little bit challenging in the beginning, remember work with things, sometimes your duration first, and then throw in distances and distractions. Remember that in this classroom setting, he's like, hold on, lady, my brain melted, is in this classroom setting, a lot of times there are distractions from the building. There's sometimes noises around as well. And then two, at times, your babes are probably just also getting tired in general from being in this novel environment too. Zeus, come. So feel free, sometimes even if you're working with like, let's say a stationary position, maybe your puppy can do a couple good reps and then they have to take a break and do some movement behaviors instead. So I might go, Zeus, ready? Find it. So a lot of times to give them a little recess from being stationary, obviously you can see some of my favorites are some awesome find its because it gets your puppy up and wiggling and gives them a little break and gets them moving and getting those legs stretched out. So again, Zeus, come. Nice job checking in. So again, he's doing a nice job. My little one is off on her little side, but she's playing with her soccer ball. So it's a little bit of a distraction for him, noticing that she's flopping around doing her own thing and then still having to come back and check in. Zeus, come. Nice job, sir. So again, sometimes rotation through a couple easy skill sets are a great way to get your puppy to rehearse a few different behaviors, but not be so stuck on, your agenda. Oh, that's very nice. Sorry, Ebba's rolling around with her soccer ball. So if at times your criteria has to change because your puppy is saying, you know what, this is maybe too challenging, I'm maybe not feeling so good. So remember there's gonna be moments where maybe your puppy is going through a huge growth spurt. Maybe his teething, his jawline is uncomfortable. Ready? Bed? Nice. We'll get that lovely little sit. So maybe there's going to be moments where you might have thought we were going to work on maybe some recalls, but maybe your pup is not really feeling it and you have to work something else. So again, stay. So now as he's rocking his down stay, I'm going to again feed him several snacks while being in the stay. You guys will want to pick a release word. So for my guys, I normally do all done, but other folks might prefer free time, all set, excuse me, all set, release. There's many different options. So again, Mr. Z is only being fed while being stuck. Let's say he's doing a pretty good job. I might add a little bit of change from my end, so where I'm wiggling, but then me wiggling doesn't mean he wiggles. This is really pretty. And I don't mind if he readjusts and get cozy. Perfectly fine for him to think there's value in being stationary, but he's allowed to get comfortable so he can hold the downstay a little bit longer. Nice. Gorgeous. Nah, Mr. Z over here is doing a nice job. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not done yet. He's still working. So right now Zeus is getting a little distracted because my little's still playing. Nice. But he's doing a really nice job being able to hold it. She's rolling around with her soccer ball. Nice. So let's say I want to end this gorgeous stay. I'm going to again feed him his last little snack. And then I would say all done. And then let's say again, we might add some touch. Some puppies prefer touch, some do not. So if you're going to be adding touch as a release, make sure that your puppies don't dislike the way you're touching. So then I might go ahead and get them up and wiggling. Nice, but remember, no food for being all done. So the only time Mr. Z got some of his snacks was while he was targeting this mat. She's making some good noises today. Ready? Sit. Oh, Ebba, don't crash it into the bucket though, okay? That's a bit too noisy. Nice. So it's okay, no worries. So let's say Mr. Z, again, replants himself on his little target mat. We might now try, again, another little stay. I might add a little bit of movement around him. Yes. And again, wiggle. You're doing a nice job playing with your ball. So if he tends to want to try to scoot up because he's just trying to meet you halfway, make sure that when you do feed, it's in the position you want him to think is beneficial. So again, ready? I'm going to feed. Yeah, you're doing a great job kicking the soccer ball. So again, we're going to feed again for the lovely all down position in his stay. And as your puppies become much more savvy with this exercise, you would then increase the rate of time between each interval to the point where maybe he's waiting 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds or longer between snacks and see how he does. So again, we're going to say all done, give him some loves. What a good boy. And then get him up. He's like, hold on, this blanket smells amazing. So get him up and break from the position. So, but we'll give him a little break from some of these stays. He's doing a really nice job. And he's also intrigued by the soccer ball. Huh, you're doing a good job, Zeus.